Hi everyone, it is great again to be on Exceptional with Sam. As you know, what we do is to go around the world and look for the very best and bring them here to tell their story, to inspire our younger generation, inspire our entrepreneurs around the world so they can learn good things, good story, a lot of lessons from these great people around the world. Today we've got someone very, very amazing. He's the first cardiopnephrologist in the world, which means a medical doctor in charge of hearts and kidney. And this guy's been doing amazing thing, making African proud. He's number one, and it's a great story to see the wonderful thing he's doing, and he's running his own thing right now. And we want to hear his story. We want to see how what motivated him, how he got to this place, so that we can learn and see how we can adapt that to what we do. Doctor, it's good to have you. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
Yes, great, great. Please, can we know? Can we meet you? Can we know some great things that is aside the one we know on the internet? You are everywhere doing amazing things. We want to know about you.
Well, thank you. My name is Olurotimi Badero. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria. Grew up in Lagos. Um, Schooled, had my primary school education at St. Mary's Private School in Lagos, and my secondary education was in Federal Government College of Dobolu. And from there, I went to University of Ife for my medical school, and then I left. I came to the United States for postgraduate training. It's pretty much so just a cardiopnephrologist, a combined heart and kidney specialist, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity to be able to make a difference in people's lives every day.
Wow, that is amazing. I want to ask you because see, yeah, breaking record, doing great thing. As humble as you are, is a great achievement as far as the world is concerned. I want to ask this fact that you are a full cardiology, nephrology. Is it an intentional act? Is it a function of hard work or a function of intelligence or what? Can you tell us how you're able to get there?
Well, the first thing that I've learned in life is that the only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. That's the only place you're going to see success coming before work. So you have to work before you get to anywhere you're going to get to. And I learned the ethos of hard work from my dad, early on. And I realized that without commitment you can't start anything, and without consistency you can't finish. So for me, it's all about trying to make a difference, trying to be impactful. I've always tried to be the best in anything that I do. I try to put, when I say to be the best, meaning be the best version of myself, because I don't compete with people. I believe comparison is a thief of joy. You don't compare yourself, you prepare yourself. So it's both hard work and also favor, because I believe that there are a lot of people that are probably in my position as well could have done even greater things as well. But sometimes you have favor from God. Everything is not by your power, not by your might. You need the grace of God. I always tell people if you run by yourself, it's called a race. When you run with God, it's called grace. You need God's grace to be able to push you to get to that point that you want to do. It's not everything that you do is just from your own work by itself. You do have to put in the work, but you also need the grace from and the favor of God.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. So you don't compete, you prepare. That's amazing. Another thing is that you have to record by certification for heart and kidney. Was it an intentional art to have both? Because I know some doctors have only one and they are fine with it.
Well, it was never intentional. I have, many more certifications than two, but none of them was intentional. Like I was mentioning before, I always wanted to be. I never wanted to be a doctor, but my dad, he talked me into it, and I, went into medicine. And when I began to apply myself into the medicine, then I wanted to be a heart specialist because I felt the heart is very special organ, right? The heart is the only organ that beats in the body. It's the central part of of any human being. So it's very fascinating to me the way the heart works. So I wanted to be a cardiologist. But my life has been fraught with a lot of adversities, right from my childhood to where I am right now. And adversities are part of, you know, they're part of anybody. If you've been highlighted to be great in anything that you do, you're going to face adversities. I mean, you know, you can look at the Bible stories and you see a lot, all the great men always had adversity. So through adversity, I was not able to get into cardiology, even though I was qualified. People stood in my way, and you know, a lot of politics and things like that. I don't want to get into, but eventually, so I went and I studied nephrology, which I also have a passion for, you know. And then eventually, the opportunity came again for me to do the cardiology, which meant me spending so many more years, like extra 3 to 4 years. So I did that, you know. So it wasn't something that I planned to do. Like I always say, I never chose cardionephrology. Cardionephrology chose me, and it's a very special field. It's an emerging field. It's not very common, you know, but it's something that is very, very important because in medicine we talk about. Sorry, in Christianity we talk about the Holy Trinity. In medicine we talk about the biological Trinity, which is the heart in the center, and then the two kidneys below, and they're very connected because the heart has the power and the kidneys have purification. So we talk about the power of purification and the purification of power. So it's a very interesting combination with the heart and the kidneys. But to answer your question quite simply, I don't want to give you a progressive answer to a very conservative option question. You know, basically, it wasn't something I set out to do. It was just, I think, by destiny.
Wow, that is really, really, that is really, really amazing. Quite impressive. So basically, I want to ask a question. I haven't done all of these, and you build this kind of reputation, this kind of knowledge base. Uh, was it intentional for you to start your own thing, or it's just was it intentional for you to start your own thing, or it's part of your plan from the original, or something happened? At what point do you decide to start your own medical at faith?
Great question. So, you know, I've always learned also that a goal without a plan is a wish. And intention without attention will put you in detention. So you can have a goal, but if you don't have a plan, it's only a wish. Um, you have to build your own dreams because if you don't build your own dreams, somebody else is going to hire you to build theirs. And so for me, I realized that I have to be the author of my own story. You know, history is not written by victims, but it's written by victors. So you have to take charge of your life. You have to take charge of your destiny, and you have to take charge of your dreams. So I knew what I wanted to do. I knew how I wanted to impact, you know, people. I've learned that the true definition of wealth is not how much you have, but how much of people you have and you carry with you everywhere you go to. So you can be in a hospital, in a clinic, and be taking care of patients, which is great, you know. But if you want to impact people globally, you have to move out of the confines of the hospital or the confines of the clinic. And to do that, you have to have your own outfit so that you have more time to be able to impact people in Sri Lanka, in Ecuador, in Nigeria, in Cameroon, in all the parts of the world. So it's one thing to be taking care of people and putting a smile on their faces when they come to see you in the hospital in your clinic. But if you want to reach the global audience and to be able to impact that little boy, that 14-year-old boy that is in Katsina State that is trying to become a doctor and he feels it's not going to happen because they tell him you can't do it, you know, you have to be on your own and to be able to create your own time. And that's what I did. So basically, I had to go out on my own so that I can create time to be able to impact people on a global level on a more, exceptional level instead of just being in the hospital and the clinic. So that's why I did that.
Wow, wow. So basically, the extent where you life is to be able to impact more people, reach more people, do it, to have the freedom to be able to do more. So it's not about money making; it's about you want to reach more people, you want to impact more people, and all of that.
Right, because
But
posterity,
but at the
posterity
bottom
is going.
line is the
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
go ahead.
Now I was going to say posterity is going to
Okay.
judge you for what you give to life, not what you took from it. It's about
Hmm.
what you've given to
That's a
life,
real
not what you've taken from. Yeah.
that is amazing. Amazing. So you spend several years, up to 12 or 13 years to study medicine. You work for how long do you have to work?
Yeah, I mean, I did 10 years of postgraduate training, which,
Wow.
to the best of my knowledge, is probably the most I've ever heard of. Um, And after that, I worked for a year. Well, actually, I was going to take a break, but I didn't get to take a break, so I was still working. And then eventually I got a job, and which I worked for like 2 years, and then I went out on my own. So basically, I only worked for like 3 years, and then I've been on my own ever since. But yeah, it took me 10 years after basic medical education that I had in Nigeria, which was very challenging. It was very it was a lot of effort, sacrifice, time, but I owe
Wow,
everything
that's
to God
amazing.
because God is the only one that gave me the fortitude. Because you have to have the fortitude to be able to go through that. I mean, and these are not things
Yeah,
that these trainings are not trainings that you just go through like that. There are all the things that come into play, all the challenges, all the things that you have to deal with, politics and all that. But I'm thankful that God gave me the fortitude to be able to go through that and to be able to be patient and strong because sometimes mentally you have to be strong. It's not just about the physicality itself. So I couldn't have done it by myself, but just God that gave me the strength.
wow, that's amazing. But it's something that I really want to pick up from you. The business side of you, did you pick it up while you were working, or you had to do some business training before you started up your own outfit?
Great question. No, I didn't. I don't think I didn't. I didn't do any business training. I think as Africans and especially as Nigerians, we have that business mind. Even as a kid. You know, when you're playing in the park or playing in the yard or playing with some of your friends. Maybe it's ping pong and things like that, and and you guys are putting money on the table. That's business right there, right? and,
Yes.
and most Nigerian kids have that, and kids here also have that too. So I didn't go to any school for any. I just learned on the fly, pretty much. And
Wow.
that's the hard way to learn, really. You learn from mistakes. You learn when you do something right, when you don't do something right. You make mistakes here and
Wow.
there. But I think everybody has that innate ability to do business. I mean, the average person in Nigeria, sometimes even after they've gotten their degrees, they go into
Yeah.
business. Some kind of business here, business there. They don't really go to school. They don't really have to have an MBA, and they do very well. They're very successful. Most of the most successful people in the world, and actually today, if you go and find out, they don't even have a business degree. Or most of them have been successful before even they go into an MBA. You get an MBA degree or things like that. So the progressive answer to a conservative question is that I didn't get any formal training.
Wow.
But, yeah.
Uh, that's amazing. As you're doing now, you are doing very well. Your outfit is running well. You're helping life. In the business side of what you do, at every point, do you think the you miss anything from business school, or you miss anything from maybe learning, some kind of learning or structural learning? Do you think you miss anything?
Well, um, you know, knowledge is always great,
Yeah.
and you cannot know everything.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a lot of things that I don't know that, if I go to an MBA school, I'm sure that, a lot of things that I will learn, things that I can do, better. But I don't know some of those things, so you can't miss something you don't know anyway. But being someone who's knowledge aficionado, I like knowledge because I think knowledge is light. Um, you can possess you cannot possess inheritance by ignorance, but you can possess ignorance by inheritance. And that's where knowledge comes into play. So knowledge is always good in anything. It's a real estate that you build. You never know knowledge is ever lost. And that's coming from somebody I spent close to 20 years of continuous, training and knowledge acquisition, and I've seen the difference. Just basically in the way you approach life, in the way you talk to people, in the way you approach, things, and your critical thinking. So there is some knowledge in formal education and business education, obviously, that I would definitely miss by not having it, but it doesn't mean that I'm not functional in my business. Everybody cannot go to an MBA school. People don't have the money to go to an
Yeah.
MBA school. I probably don't. If somebody gives me money to go to an MBA school, maybe I'll consider it. but yeah, definitely there are things that I miss, but it doesn't mean that I'm not functional. For me, I just need to be functional.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. So what I want to find out is how is we're in a world of startup where everything is being driven by technology. People are talking about scaling and growth. How are you being able to be part of this? Because there's a lot of technology everywhere. It's a medical technology startup. They're looking for a way to address a lot of friction from the medical point of view. Do you have anything you're working on startup or any kind of partnership, any kind of strategy to go beyond the conventional medicine that we know to go into the technology-driven medicine or something? Do you have that kind of thing in the pipeline?
Oh yeah, excellent question. No, you have to move with the time. I tell people the slower you move, the faster you die, right? And you can't wait. If you wait too long, you wait tables. You have to keep moving with the time. And medicine is becoming very technological, especially with now. The world now is becoming very highly technological. So medicine is also part of that. And so for me, that's something I'm doing as well. You I'm able to impact or get involved with medical education, remotely, as well as training, as well as traveling to do some of this training. And I'm working with some partners right now, developing some apps in medicine that can help people navigate a lot of the, things that
Wow.
questions, and they might not, especially for people in remote Nigeria who are not able to access a doctor right away. You know, so some of those things are in the pipeline right now. Part of the technology we're getting involved with. Hopefully by next year, we should be able to roll things out.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I want to ask another great question. If you really need a medical kind of certification to set up an hospital or medical outfit
Well, you mean in the U.S. or in Nigeria? I mean, you don't need to have a medical
in the
education to
US,
set up an
basically in the
outfit.
US,
Well, I mean, when you
in
say
the
medical
US,
outfits, I mean, yeah. So there are different types of medical
like
outfits, right? So
hospital.
you can, yeah, you don't need to have a medical degree to set up a hospital because it's not like the way it is in Nigeria, where a hospital is usually set up by the doctor. Here, people can come together and set up a hospital and then employ people, professionals, who will run the hospital. But if you want to set up and even a medical office, you don't have to be a doctor to set up medical offices. You can set up a medical office and
Wow.
employ a doctor to be there, a physician to run the place. So medicine is very capitalist here in the United States, and like the way it's in Nigeria. So um, I know a lot of people who are not doctors who have medical outfits, and and they're doing very well because they put the right
Wow.
person in there to take care of it. Yeah.
That's amazing. The other good question before I have a couple of questions. I'm trying to see how we can address as much as possible. Uh, what are your success habits? You're successful. We are proud of you. The global world is proud of you. What are those habits that has helped you get to this level and that is still driving you? What are the habits that you imbibe in your daily life that has helped you to be this, to get to this level?
Very good question. So for me, people ask me, what is success? I mean, and I look at it very differently, right? So I believe success is how much you have succeeded in being who you are as a person. So everybody has different strengths, okay, and we have different roles in this life. You know, everybody cannot do the same thing. As long as you're successful in becoming who you are and recognizing what you're here to do in this world, and you've able to and you've tried to do it, to me that is success. So some of my habits, I believe in a model for myself. I call it 11 never 12. 11 never 12 means, for me the clock never strikes 12. Once the clock is about to strike 12, I bring it back to 11. So I'm always hungry. Okay. I'm always not satisfied with what I've done because I believe there's always so much that you can do. And, I try to be consistent. I try to have passion. I try to believe in myself. I try to believe, I mean, I believe in God, obviously, and I try to believe in myself and believe what I can do,
Passion,
and have a strong sense of self
believe in
awareness,
yourself,
and then you
believe
have
in
to have
God.
passion. So, yeah, believe in God. And, I believe in the ABCDEFGHIJ phenomenon. Okay. A is adversity. Okay. Adversity is very, very important. B is belief. And C is courage, commitment, and consistency. Okay.
Wow.
And D is determination, E is effort, F is favor, G is grace, and H is the haters because you need these haters. Anytime you're doing something well, you're going to have people who don't like you, who people will say, things about you, the naysayers, the ones that want to, pull you down or detract you and things like that. But you also have to
Yeah.
have insight, which is the I. And the J is the journey. You have to go on a journey. Every destiny has
Wow.
to go on a journey. Every destiny has to go on a
Wow.
journey. God has given everybody a destiny from when you were born, but that destiny has to go on a journey, and that journey is something that you have to do, and you have to believe in yourself. You have
Wow.
to motivate yourself. You have to be self-motivating. You don't have to wait on somebody to motivate yourself. If you look at the eagle is a very special bird, right? The eagle,
Yeah.
when the eagle lands on a tree, the eagle believes in his strength. He has more belief in the strength of his wings than on the strength of the branch that he lands on. So that even if the
Well,
branch
true.
breaks, if the branch breaks, he knows he can fly away because his wings are very strong. So you have to believe in yourself and not necessarily the
Wow.
situation because that's how you go through the situation. But at the end of the day, you can have a strong belief, but not be arrogant. Because sometimes when people are very, successful or, you have a strong belief, then you can start becoming arrogant and becoming egotistical. Because, um, ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. You cannot be
Mm.
egoistical. You cannot be arrogant. Um, but
Wow.
you need to believe in yourself and believe in God.
Wow. That's amazing. I can see that you believe so much in God. That's great. So the first thing, we need to have passion. We need to believe in ourselves, because when we believe in ourselves, that's where we take more risk. It really helped a couple of us getting a point. The more you can believe in yourself, the more you can go to do a lot of things. If you don't believe in yourself, you'll not even move out. You'll not even take any action. That's amazing. Then you have to believe in God. You have to believe in God. That's his own success story. Then he has his ABCD, which you can pick up from the you have said it. You can pick it up, but that's really really amazing. I love your success framework. Okay, how you've been able to build yourself and to have some kind of guide that helps you grow. That's really amazing, and that's what every businessman needs. You have to have some kind of belief system, that kind of support system that helps you grow. Quick one. Do you intend to break any record anytime soon or in the future?
So first of all, I don't even set out to break records. I don't pay, I don't set out to break records. I don't set out to get accolades. I don't set out to draw attention to myself. I don't focus on all those things. Um, I focus on God, number one, to give me direction. And then I focus on myself, the things that I can do to impact the world. And in the process, if something happens, great. But the focus is what you can do. Because you can break a record, it doesn't mean that you're impactful. You can break a record
Mm.
and not really impact people. And so there's no functionality to that thing that you do you know, um, people try sometimes when I walk around, people try to look at my watch, and I tell them, don't look at my watch. My mind is a real diamond. Your watch is not what
Mm.
people should look at because your mind is a real diamond. And once you have that mind, you
Mm.
can do a lot of things. And it just comes naturally. So
Mm.
for me, I don't try to, I don't look at people. I don't look at what somebody else is doing. Just run your own race. Everybody has their race to run. You don't have to pay attention to what the other person is doing. You just have to focus on yourself. The answer is always in the preparation. It's not about what even if you don't do well, but just know that you've done your best and you've prepared yourself. And then you feel good and you can rest with yourself. You can live with yourself, whatever the outcome is.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I will actually ask you two more questions before you go. See, if you have someone who does not have a business background and he wants to go into a business, what would be your advice to that person?
Well, first of all, you need to look at other people. You learn from other people's mistakes, right? So if it took somebody 10 steps to set up something, you don't want to necessarily have to take the 10 steps because those 10 steps are fraught with some errors. and mistakes. So you want to learn from people that have tried to do it before and see what they did, see how they make mistakes, talk to people, find out, the errors that they made, and learn from their errors. You don't really want to learn from the good things that people do or the steps, the right steps that people take. You also want to learn from the wrong steps that people take. Like I always tell people, failure is part of the curriculum of success. Failure is part of the curriculum of success. You cannot succeed without failing because you have to learn something from the failures. It's not just about what you did right, but also what you did wrong. So talk to people that probably have done what you're about to do and find out what they do wrong, what they did right. Don't necessarily, if they try to discourage you, don't necessarily think about that or focus on that. You just focus on your goals. Don't focus on the obstacles. If you don't climb the mountains, you can't view the plains. Okay, and the mountain is an obstacle. So you have to climb mountain before you can now view the plain. So you don't focus on all those, obstacles or people. So basically, look at people that have done it before. Read. You have to read about things. Talk to people. You can get
Wow.
knowledge through reading, can get knowledge through talking to people, and then also, and always try to have a dream and a view. Have something. It's like when you want to build a house, right? You have it in your mind. You have the way the house is going to look in your mind that nobody else knows, and then you build that house. So you have to really form a dream in your mind first. And think about it every day when you go to sleep. Before you go to sleep, think about it. When you wake up in the morning, think about it, and focus on it. Eventually, the answers will keep coming, and then you have to talk to people because a plant cannot be planted
Hmm.
um, if it is not connected, right? So, sorry, if a plant cannot grow if it is not planted, and it cannot be planted if it's not connected. So you also need
Hmm.
connection, make connections with people, and grow yourself. Not just grow yourself, grow others as well. While you're, bringing your business up, make sure your business takes people with you. Make sure your business grows people. It's not just about growing yourself. You know.
Wow, that is really amazing. You have to learn from people. You have to do research. You have to put yourself. Make sure you have not be the network where you can learn from and all of that. It's amazing. So see, a lot of people want to start business, but life is even much more easier than before. There's a lot of information out there online. You can reach a lot, read about people. You can go to YouTube, go to LinkedIn, connect with people, build a good network, and leverage on this kind of great platform to learn. Like Exceptional with Sam, hook up to where you can learn things about that will help you go more milestone about your life, about your business, and all of that. So basically, it's about learning and improving yourself somehow. It's not everything that you have to pay for. Like what you say, you can look for a way to get to learn a lot of things, not necessarily having to go to business school. There are so many free access to knowledge, free courses, free educational things you can learn. Just give yourself access to those great resources. Uh, Doctor, you've done an amazing job. I want to ask another, what are the major challenges or challenge you face in business?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
The major challenge or challenges you face in business.
From business. Well, I mean, first of all, you have to learn how to deal with people. You have to learn how to deal with different personalities and um, relate to different types of people. That's number one. Number two, you have to learn how to negotiate in business because you're going to negotiate a lot, you know, and negotiating, you always have to try to understand where your partner, whoever it is that you're talking to, is coming from. So that's one of the things. And then you have to be nice in business. You have to be. Sometimes you have to let go. It's not every war. The greatest war that was ever won is one that was never fought. The greatest war ever won was one that was never fought. So it's not everything that you have to fight. Even sometimes when you negotiate, you're going to lose. Every negotiation is not going to go your way. Sometimes you have to lose some things to get some things. So you have to understand that. And then you have to be fair in business and respect your opponents and respect your friends. Love your friends and also love your enemies. You got to keep your enemies closer. They say keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. You can do business with someone even if you don't like them. You can't be personal when you're doing business. You can't infuse, emotions into business. So, for example, I might not like you as a person does not mean I can't do business with you. You can't say because you don't like exceptional with Sam that you can't do business with exceptional with Sam because you have to look at the greater picture, right? So those are the things. Be fair, respect your opponents, respect your contemporaries. Um, don't be too arrogant. You don't know everything. Always talk to people, listen to people. You don't know it all. You don't have all the answers to everything. Make sure your business is something that is going to grow the community. It's not just something that is just for you and your family alone. You have to grow the community because that's how you move forward. If you want to run fast, you run alone. If you want to run far, you run with people, and you can run far with people. You know.
Wow, wow, just really amazing. We've learned a couple of things seriously from Doctor today. I think we need to get question coming in so that we can allow Doctor to go back to work. He's a very, very busy man. So let's get a question rolling in. Do you have any question there? Let me have some of the questions so that we can ask them. Okay. Trying to see some question. Oh, so somebody's saying, what's your best strategy for hiring,
What's my
especially
what?
when you started off?
I'm sorry, repeat that question.
Your best strategy on hiring when you're just starting.
Oh, okay, great. Well, you want to look for passion. When I want to hire someone, I try to look at the passion that they have. When you talk to them, because that passion is very important. That's what they're going to bring into the business. One, you want to look at dedication. If you're hiring somebody and they've worked somewhere else before, try to look at how many years they spent at the place. I think if the person is someone that has just spent 2 months here, 3 months here, 4 months here, 5 months here, is moving about, that kind of person is not probably going to be very dedicated and to you. But if somebody has stayed with their previous employer for like 10 years or something, this person is very dedicated, right? So you want to look at that. You also
Wow.
want to look at their people skills. Okay. Usually, your greatest strength is also always your greatest weakness. Your greatest strength is also always your greatest weakness. So you want even if the person has a weakness, you can turn that weakness into a strength as long as they have a passion for what they do. Because when people don't have passion for what they do, they're just doing it just to make money or just to get by. And that's not enough in life. You have to have the passion. God has given you this life for a reason. There's something you can do. If you come to a business, you should be able to make that business better, right? And you should be able to leave a lasting impact in that business. So look at longevity, look at their track record, look at passion, and also look at the fact that they
Wow.
can
So you check out
self-motivate.
the rate of, yeah, the track record,
Right.
and the rate they stay long, and their passion, and their people management skills and all of that. That's really amazing. I hope a lot of people are learning from this. Somebody says that what inspires you, what inspires and drives you. Let me get my
Well,
question.
yeah, my inspiration comes from God, because no man can inspire you truly. Every inspiration comes from God, and you know, the ability to just interact with different people and know that they admire what you do and they believe in what you do. And when you say something to them, it means a lot to them. And you can change their circumstances with your story, with your experience, and you can put a smile on their face. The greatest, one of the wealth of a creative mind, lies in the ability to make a difference in people's lives. If you have a creative mind and that creativity cannot make a difference in people's lives, there's no functionality to that creativity. And the ability to put a smile on the face
Hmm.
or make somebody better or between sickness and health, that's one of the greatest wealth you can have. And also, time is something that inspires me because time is very slow for those who want, you know, and it's very long for those that are sad, very short for those that celebrate. For those that love, time is eternal. And so, what we should try to do in this world is to love other people. When you love people truly, genuinely in your heart, then time is eternal, it's endless.
Hmm. Wow. So the passion, love people. Oh, this is just amazing. Doctor, you've done a great job. So you don't forget your passion, the love people, to impact people is very important. Don't just do things because of money. Don't just do things because you just don't make money. You eventually gonna make money, but you have to be able to impact people, create value, create value. That when you see people benefiting from you, you are also happy. That's amazing. Doctor, we appreciate you so much for your effort for coming down here with your tight schedule for setting out time to be on a session with Sam to tell your story and to inspire the next generation. Thank you so much. We look forward to you. We want to hear more great news. I want to see more breaking ground. Whether you are not interested in it, we are interested in seeing you breaking more great grounds. I want to hear your story everywhere. And God bless you. Do have a wonderful day, sir.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Appreciate it.